that it comes back to the payer as a public good. Madam Chairperson, respected judges, distinguished guests, Nana Nom, all protocol observed, my worthy opponent, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The motion that e-levy is a sure way for a better tomorrow is a good one and of great concern. I'm here to explain why. Someone might ask what e-levy is about. E-levy is a tax imposed on electronic transactions above 100 Ghana cedis, which will be administered by the Ghana Revenue Authority and will be collected through electronic money issuers, that is MTN Mobile Money, Vodafone Cash, Tigo Cash, ZPay, etc. Panel, before we can understand why we have e-levy about existing today, it is fundamental we understand that one of the most important methods through which a country can be developed is by effective taxation, a system that ensures that every citizen does the duty by paying tax. We also need to understand that most people exist in the middle class than the lower and upper class because there are 18 million taxpayers, 2.4 million registered as personal income taxpayers, 54,364 persons registered as self-employed taxpayers, which means there are more people in the informal sector than the formal sector. I know my opponent here will say there are many taxes considering the current tax on fuel, but it is important we understand that our Ghana is under-taxed and there has not been any effective means of taxation by our country. Why do I defend e-levy today? E-levy, when accepted, will help widen the tax base of our economy because we are bringing everyone on board to contribute to a quota to help the government projects. It will also help to increase domestic tax mobilization. Furthermore, I know my opponents will say there are no jobs in the country and youth unemployment, but the good news is that the proceed levy will help to support entrepreneurship, youth employment, cyber security, digital and road employment. That is why I strongly believe that e-levy is a sure way for a better tomorrow, and anyone who comes against it prefers underdeveloped Ghana to a Ghana that can one day thrive to the world front. Thank you.
Good evening, Nananum, Madam Chairperson, panel of judges, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Ama Makati is my name. The motion before the House today is e-levy is the sure way for a better tomorrow, and I strongly stand against the motion. E-levy is defined as a fiscal policy by the government of Ghana intended to tax electronic transactions on a stated monetary threshold. Ideally, we should contribute and be committed to widen the country's tax net. But simply, the analogy that the panacea to solving the e-levy so ideally, we should be committed to widen our country's tax net. But simply, the analogy of the panacea that e-levy will solve the crippling economy is false. To begin with, e-levy would increase reckless expenditure. The charter jet private cost an hour is 1,800.75. If the president travels twice in every 6 months, multiply this amount by 24%, and this will give you 4.5 billion. We have depleted our heritage fund, our infrastructure fund, our sinking fund. We have monies from 4 different fields, yet we are suffering from economic tatters. The solution to our economic crisis is not overburdening the poor Ghanaian with e-levy, but rather cutting down on economic expenditure. Yes. Furthermore, this would delay and impede digitalization agenda. Most of us Ghanaians, like myself, who do not have bank accounts, will be sent to the days of financial exclusion. More worrisome is the rural poor who depend on their inward for money through Momo transactions. In Uganda, the imposition of 1% tax led to a drastic reduction of 24% in their Momo transaction. just the wave of e-levy, Ghana has lost 3.8%. Merade Ankato, well, imagine that we implement Ghana every year. And also, this will increase financial trade. My opponent has forgotten that there are hackers in that system. That is why a saying goes that tax creates more criminals than any other single act of government. My beautiful lady, you will agree with me. There, who can own flower fair field or see habemuno and no attracting, but one of no attracting, no but way. This should tell us that if the nation's money is centered at one place, this will attract more hackers in the system. These hackers steal data, they commit crime with it, they break international accounts, perpetrate fraud, and don't forget they transfer the money that we have. You know what? Everybody got choices. Obiane your person, you stand for your own. So me kana yon jiwa but money say yes. Me kana wonin jiwa but sarala kase no. Hey, into 11 no betia. No. Into mo withdraw money about 1,000 Ghana. No. Hey, mo ya sure. Yes. Wow.
Thank you very much. Time for debunking.
Mr. Chairman, if my opponents will bear with me, my opponents can really tell that there are 3 ways by which a country can be developed. It's either by effective taxation, by borrowing loans, or through generating funds through natural resources. So are you trying to tell me that we shouldn't pay tax because there is no accountability in the country?
My. There's something very shocking. It says my opponent wasn't paying attention when I was making my point. Please, she herself made a point that many among the boys don't pay tax. She has forgotten that those in the formal sector are already paying income tax. And those in the informal sectors are paying value-added tax, import duty, network charges. How many more charges do you want us to pay? E-levy to me and to the whole Ghana is a retrogressive punitive tax. And I believe, with all the points stated above, Madam Chairperson and the House, I don't accept e-levy. And I know you also don't accept e-levy. Fellow Ghanaian, I arrest my case.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nice one there. My judges, this one is left with just my 2 ladies here. So all of you are going to talk. Ato, let me start with you.
What a way to wrap it up. Well, let me begin with Anita. I think I loved your presentation more. I loved the way you were calm and you were concise. You said so much, but in a limited time. And I loved even more the transitions, the way you started and how you built your argument to the point where you concluded. Maybe the only thing that was lost in your presentation, your main argument, was probably the exact transactions that the levy was going to be taxed. I would have loved to hear that from you, but I think that beyond that, you did exquisite. And of course, you mentioned some statistics. It would have been nice to know the source of that statistics that you were throwing about. All right. Next time when you get into debates like that, anytime you're quoting statistics, please, we'll be happy to know where those stats are coming from, so that we can justify whether it is credible or otherwise. And that point applies to you as well, McCarthy. You also talked about some funds that, in your opinion, were being depleted. It would have been nice to know depleted from what to what, within which time frame, so that you don't confuse the people listening to you. But I think that you guys did a great job, and it's a beautiful ending to a great night.
All right, thank you very much. Natalia, looking at your face, I don't know.
Oh no, I'm happy. I'm happy, just that there was a butchered word. I don't know whether it's panacea or what. At a point I thought it was Panadol. please, let's pay attention to pronunciations because, I mean, you are the queens of the Western region. That was the best is from the West. And with the Mazana, into Noya, as in the wire, but Oya na yen grammar na construction, so Yashe, because you represent Western region, Sierra. Now, I think that you've done well. I think any of the political parties now worry one tamanka at least Kobotum will achieve a goal in Tama. You prosper in parliament to the mouth for a very long time. So you've done well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Mauto. Oh, no, wait. Mauto. They want to run away from you.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're afraid of me. But I want to say for Anita, you did well. You were very composed. What impressed me the most was the fact that you were able to pour the facts and figures out of your head. But it got to a point, especially when you had to step away, when you're doing your rebuttal, and you had to step away from your script, then you struggled a bit, which meant that you focused a lot on chewing and pouring. And when what you wanted to say wasn't part of what you had chewed, the pouring wasn't coming. So that was the one thing that I noticed. For McCarthy, I have to say for you, you started a bit weaker than Anita, but then at the end you came out very strong. Because especially with your rebuttal, you were very confident, you spoke your mind, and you actually engaged with the audience very, very well. You did. And I think that is a mark of a very good public speaker. I love the fact that we are ending on the two of you, but I want to say, if you're doing your research and you come across a word you've never heard before, because I know you did a lot of what you did with Google, right? So when you come across a word like panacea, just look it up. And when you come across a word like punitive, it's not punitive, it's punitive. Just ask Google. Google will teach you so that you give the Western region the proper focus it deserves. But all in all, you girls are queens, and I hail you. Well done.
Well done. Thank you very much. All right. So on that note, if you want McCarthy to be next Miss Western 2022, just dial